Why, greetings, love. How are you doing? We're finna talk about idols. We're gonna talk about worshiping idols. First of all, let's talk about what an idol is. A idol is something that you hold dear to your heart. It can be an object, it can be a car, it could be a child, it could be a relationship, it could be your job, it could be some little pieces that you made out of wood, something you made out of ceramic, something you made out of tile, something that you pray to, something that you give your all to. Be careful with that all word, right? Never say, oh, I gave my all to you. I gave you everything. I sacrificed it all for you, because that's exactly what you did. And that's exactly what you get, because you treated man as if they were God. You gave man the respect and reverence that you would give God. And you can't do that, because, first of all, we're covered in Caesar words. We're covered in Caesar thoughts. We cover in Caesar patterns. God can't deal with Caesar mess. So God got his own way, his own lane, that if you want to be with him, you got to be in there. And when you make something hollow, which is like a statue, the cross, um, anything that you consider holy, something you pray, you praise, you give your all to, your life force, your good health, your youth. Like it could be a business, something you giving more of you than God. Like you giving more of yourself to that thing and not God. You're reverencing that thing the way you should be reverencing God. So therefore it's called an idol. And God respects your choices. If you choose to serve the idol, guess what? The idol is the one that has to take care of you. God is not going to force himself on you. But he said, hallowed be thy name, meaning all God's words are hollow, meaning they're hollow so you can step inside of them and feel them. They're hollow so you can fit in them. They're hollow so they can wrap themselves around you. They're hollow so you can emerge your essence in these words, right? Now let me read to you about how Abraham was telling his father Terah that they worshiped idols. See, they hid Abraham in a cave because Abraham was the one that the wise men had made a prediction of, about him eating up the kings in all the corners of the earth. And so I think it was Nebuchadnezzar, and he didn't like that. So Terah was Nebuchadnezzar's son. Terah was a kid from a village that Nebuchadnezzar had conquered, and he liked Terah, so he took Terah on as his son, and he raised Terah as his own. But Terah had Abraham, and so when he heard about the prophecy, he ordered that Abraham be killed. So they hid Abraham. Instead of giving them Abraham, they gave him a servant's baby, and he took a brick and bashed the baby head. So years later, Abraham had been hiding out with Lot in the caves, right? And God favored Abraham. And he spent a lot of time with Abraham. And Lot taught him a lot too. So he came out of the cave. But when he came out of the cave, his father got upset with him and said, why you here? If they see you, they're going to kill you. You got to go. But Abraham wasn't with it. So when he went into his father's house, he seen that he had a whole bunch of idols on it, and they was praying to him. And that upset him, because he worships the living God, and they're praising something that's not real. So let me tell you what Abraham had to say to his father. He didn't appreciate it. He said, it says, in the 16th week, I'm going to let y'all see it so you won't think I'm making this up. Okay. In the 6th week in the 7th year of it, that Abraham said to Terah, his father, saying, Father, he said, look here, am I, my son? I'm sorry. He said, look here, am I, my son? He said, what help and profit have we from those idols which you worship, and in the presence of which you bow yourself? For there is no spirit in them. They are dumb forms, and they mislead the heart. Do not worship them. Worship the God of heaven, who causes the rain and the dew to fall on the earth, and does everything on the earth, and has created everything by his word, and all life is from his presence. Why do you worship things that have no spirit in them? For they are the works of men's hands, and you bear them on your shoulders, and you have no help from them. But they are a great cause of shame to those who make them, and they mislead the heart of those who worship them. Do not worship them. You see that? Look at that. He repeats himself. Do not worship them. His father said to him, I also know it, my son, but what shall I do with the people who have made me serve them? If I tell them the truth, they will kill me, because their soul clings to them, so they worship them and honor them. Keep silent, my son, or they will kill you. And these words he spoke to his 2 brothers, and they were angry with him, and he kept silent. Abraham went with that. And let me tell y'all what Abraham ended up doing. Okay, when the father left, told him to go back to the cave, because if Nebuchadnezzar find you, he's going to kill all of us. Get your butt back in that cave. But when the daddy came back home, all of the idols was destroyed. So he asked Abraham, did you destroy all of these idols? And Abraham looked at him and said, no. And he said, well, who did? And so it was a big idol standing in the corner, and it had a sword. And he said, maybe the one in the corner slain all these idols. And then the daddy said, how he gonna do that? He's not real, Abraham. And Abraham said, exactly. So you who are worshiping people on TV, you who are worshiping people in sports, you that are worshiping these rappers, you that are worshiping, meaning you got their pictures all over your wall, you wearing their t-shirts, like you done joined a fan club, you following the bus everywhere they go, you dressing like them, you walking like them, you talking like them, you're taking their evil words and making them your mantra, you're watching their videos, soaking up their content, and you just gone, you immersed in it. And the next thing you know, this becomes an idol, and you can't do without it. You can't do without it. You think about it all day long. Next thing you know, you doing it. When you try to do something else, you end up doing that. Well, you're supposed to be like that about God. You're supposed to be like that about kingdom business. You're supposed to be like that about your goodness. You supposed to be like that. Not about dumb stuff, not about something made out of wood and ceramic, not a relationship that can come and go, not a person, because a person make mistakes. And y'all, we try to make people be God. We try to make people feel voids that only God can do. That is so wrong. To get with a person because you need your void filled. See, you make that person your idol. You try to make that person feel you. Well, baby, when you do that, you know how you know God done left the building and letting you have that idol? You become something that you loathe. You find yourself crawling on your belly, begging for things, doing unnatural things, doing sickening, demonic things, searching for a pleasure that doesn't exist. You see how these things take you, pimp you out with the illusions and turn you against your own self? Don't let God make you turn on yourself. I love you.